So, in my tradition of sharing the things that I've been learning, what ended up happening to Israel is a very dark event with a lot of people pulling strings. Um, one of them being the Israeli government. Pretty much a whole bunch of retards have reacted to the things that I've been saying as if it is a drive to kill them. Like that's basically how whores react, male or female, that culture. That's how they react if someone thinks or says something critical that you've done, because that's what they do. They only say things to their lynch mobs to get their lynch mobs to be okay with whatever they end up doing to those people, whoever it is that they say the truth about. So, and they have a belief that everybody's just like them, because that's the default retard thought among people, is everybody's just like us if they were in the same uh, had the same information. They would react the same. That's everybody's justification for being gigantic sluts and slave masters to the human race. Every head of every major religion is involved with the domestication of the human race and the false profit scam of their class. I give people the benefit of the doubt all the time, but I have been paying attention to news for many, many, many years, and you see the religious leaders come together, and you'd think world peace. Well, the first time I heard of them coming together afterwards, 9/11 happened. Um, what happened in southern Israel is involving the same people. They believe that the consequences of their manipulation of religion, religious fanatics, the things that they create to attack each other when, almost like when they're bored, uh, they're the problem. Because they believe in slave breeding genetics of behavior, they believe that everyone is either good or evil, and that you can do things to find out if someone is good or evil. I've been tested my whole life, and because I don't act like the rest of my family, like a gigantic slut, I can't be trusted because I'm denying my human nature in their eyes. Um, the most religious person you've ever heard of believes in exactly what I just said. They believe that enslaving people with religion is the only way to make them good. And they all do this. They all work together to do this. It's part of the education system, the high level education system that trickles down from the top. That's their understanding. And having an auditor's training, I'm a lot better at checking people's information than I would be otherwise, especially being more objective with the information, because I don't have, I don't offend myself with the truth like the way they do. Uh, I don't mind being wrong, because then I can be right by getting rid of the wrong ideas. This is something that the rest of the ruling class is immune to. They cannot do that. Um, they're always right, and the only way to prove them wrong is to literally kill them, because that's how they live. That's the way they think. Survival of the fittest. The might makes right. If you win and live, that means God likes you. If you die, that means God hates you. It's it's an extremely evil world of people that we have running everything. They don't know God, but they insist on telling everybody who God is, because they insist on being the ones that you go through to find God. It's one of the reasons why I like Jesse Lee Peterson so much, because it's like, even though he's in a bubble of whatever you want to call it, the smart people don't usually come in numbers, you know, but real people can tell when someone's right, and especially if they know God. But like I said, I don't follow him, but I know the truth of God, and I can tell who's right and wrong. And people would say there's a little bit of truth in everything. That's not really what's going on with religions. The truth is the truth, regardless of whether these people exist or not. The fact that they can get it right sometimes has nothing to do with religions having some truth in it, because that's not what religion is supposed to be. Religion is supposed to be history of a people with God, whatever they call God, whatever their relationship is with God. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but when you know God, you can tell from people's life and their religion what their relationship is with, well, both each other and God. So many, 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 many hundreds of years ago, humans were enslaved. They started enslaving each other. They started walking around acting like gods, uh, and making other people worship them. And this is a lot of where the idea of ancient aliens comes from. It's just an echo through the mind of reality, uh, the reality of lies that hide the truth. So, and on that note, the truth can set everyone free. I I knew that in order to save the world from Israel and their reaction to what's happened to them, that we would need to save Israel and the Israeli people. And by learning what was necessary to save them, everyone else can be saved too. Because without everyone screwing with each other, the people being screwed with won't feel the need to screw with everyone back. So all the problems in the world are being caused by one person or one group after another, after another, after another, as they do the eye for the eye for the eye for the eye until the whole world is blind. Because everyone is in a cult, whether you like it or not. If you can't know what the truth is, then you are not in it, period. And it doesn't matter how much magical emotion you put behind it to claim that it's faith. You can rename delusion and lies anything you want. It doesn't make things change. What you demand of others will be demanded of you by God. Because whatever you do to another, you do to God. And sadly, my only purpose, because I can't seem to be able to rescue anybody I care about, my only purpose is to give people the truth and warn them of the consequences of staying the course, staying staying in the minds that you all have and what those consequences are, and that you can't keep blaming other people for what happens to you. And you can't, look at me and see me suffer and say, well, he's the only one suffering. You see what you want to see. Everybody is suffering. You can't get through life without suffering, especially in this world. And the more you know the truth, the more you suffer. No one else understands this because people barely know anything. They have to believe in things the way they believe in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. Otherwise, they'll be ostracized by their peers for not having faith, because they need to weaponize themselves against their enemies, the other non believers, the other Satanists and evil and such. Most of the people that I can help are people who've been rejected by everyone else, which I have no problem with. When the people who've been rejected find salvation, the righteous no longer have anyone to oppress or to judge, and they only have themselves left as the sinners of the world. So I do agree with a lot of the stuff Israel has done in retaliation to what happened to them, but I also see that it was manufactured as a shortcut to a solution that could have saved everyone. It's the exact opposite of what we were doing with Trump, what I was doing with Trump, and what everyone who understood it was doing. The ones who know there's only one God, and regardless of what they believed before, they all believe in the same God, because there is only one. That everyone doesn't have to be under the umbrella of one religion, because a religion is cultural specific. It's family specific, extended family specific. In a real world of non-slaves, you can marry into a religion, but only your children will really be part of that religion, because you're kind of a tourist, you're a visitor, and that's acceptable. There's certain things that you haven't experienced in your life with everyone else that will separate you from everyone else, and that's fine. That's normal. That's a normal thing. It takes a very long time for two cultures, two religions to merge, because even when they do merge, you end up with a history of two histories that merges into one history. After millennia, the two histories sometimes get tossed to the side because it's no longer relevant to the new religion created from the cultures that combine. Our impatience for things getting better will destroy us, because we are not good enough to make things better. We can help others and risk the sacrifice of ourselves in helping others and embrace the karma of the situation. That's the best we can do. If we don't do it like that, then the consequences are catastrophic. So, I won't buy the narratives coming from anybody, because I already know too much about everybody and what's going on. But everybody's got to stop acting like I'm some kind of, I don't even know what, antichrist, or wizard, someone who's gonna, ruin all your magic spells. There's no such thing as magic. So, there's just God. Anyway, in order to save Palestine, we had to save Israel. But since we chose to not do that, then, the only solution is to confess and repent. And to put a stop to all this killing. But if that doesn't happen, it's just going to get worse. The people who call for the destruction of others will be destroyed by their own hands. That's what's going to happen. I'd rather Israel not be the example, but one of the saddest parts is if they become the example, there won't be anyone smart enough to learn from it in this generation. It'll be a long time before people realize what happened, because there won't. We're a product of endless genocide. We genocide ourselves. We've learned to stay stupid throughout our adult lives, and we can't comprehend the truth. The only reason I even know what's going on is because I connected with God. Before then, I was as dumb as everybody else. I'm not that much smarter, mind you. I'm still human. But, and that's, saying the word smart, that's a relative thing too. I'm as retarded as everybody else. I couldn't live among you as a non-retard. It's too hard. It's too hard, and it's too hard to save the cast outs. Because I don't deserve to be worshipped. No one should be worshipped. And I won't exist in a way that will trigger the slaves to worship me instead of their false masters. Because I won't be there forever. And they need to learn to follow God and learn who God is so that they can live for themselves and not for someone else. So, anyways, love y'all. Good luck. Like Jesse Lee Peterson's latest post, forgiveness is the most important thing. Because if you can't forgive others, no one will be able to forgive you. And you won't be able to forgive yourself. And you'll end up taking it out on everyone else, which is the world we're living in. So, love y'all.